Still waiting for others to join, guys. Meanwhile, anyone has any questions, please let me know and confirm if my screen is visible. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, Survey. Visible.
Yeah. Any questions do you have, Hussein, related to ASR till whatever we discussed till now, based on that, any conceptual questions or any technical questions on backup, anything?
No, but I had one question to ask. Like, then what is the difference, like major difference between ASR and migration? Just that planning keyword is sufficient for
No, no
that,
one will
or
ask you.
it's much
No
more?
one is going to ask you a question
Okay,
between
okay,
migration and ASR. But yes, technically, if you say, yeah, that is the correct thing. Migration, something we are planning, and this is you know one aspect of migration. Migration is a huge thing. This is just one aspect of the migration. Hence, I said that this is not migration completely, but majorly used in all migration. Yeah, if you see migration, so there are multiple methods, and most of them are six of them are very famous. So one of them is rehosting, which is lift and shift. Here we use our ASR. लिफ्ट एंड शिफ्ट का मतलब क्या होता है? बस यहां से उठा के वहां पर रख दिया, simple. So those servers, we are just picking those servers from there and deploying them here. Replatform almost इसी तरह similar होता, but few changes are there. Then repurchase is there, refactoring is there, okay, then retire is there. So we'll discuss that. So ASR, it is just one of the aspects of migration, not the complete migration. So don't worry, वो इस तरह का क्वेश्चन कोई भी नहीं पूछने वाला आपसे, क्या व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ASR एंड माइग्रेशन. क्वेश्चन हमेशा ASR और बैकअप के बीच में ही रहने वाला है. व्हाट इज द साइट रिकवरी और बैकअप में क्या डिफरेंस है, वो रहने वाला है हमेशा. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. And once we read the migration, you will understand. अपने आप ही आपको समझ में आ जाएगा that what is the difference. Yeah. See, planned failover we have to do, failover we have to do, test failover, cleanup test failover, commit, resynchronization, change recovery point. These are the steps which we have to follow. ऐसे पढ़ के नहीं समझ में आएगा. We are going to do that. I'm just waiting for others to join. Okay, so let's start, guys. Right. One question before I click here. Can I initiate or can I start? I mean, set up. Can I configure the backup if my virtual machine is stop? It isn't stop. Can I configure the backup on this machine? Yes, guys. Yes, no.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone thinks we cannot? Okay. No, you cannot, guys. You cannot configure it. Once it is configured, capturing the backup is different thing. Configuration of backup is different thing. This is the stopped virtual machine. If I go here, if I click on backup, I'm talking about the configuration. Okay, hence I used multiple words over there. Configuration, setup. So you cannot configure it. Let's say that I select something and I enable backup. Okay, it will validate, it will happen something, but ultimately it's gonna throw an error. Why? Because this machine is it's trying to send some backup agent to that machine. It's an installation. Okay, it's an installation of the machine. It's the installation of an agent. So for that reason, machine needs to be turned on when you set up the backup. एक बार setup हो गया, उसके बाद जो recurring backup है, that will work. That is fine. अगर उसमें आपकी machine बंद भी है ना, that is still fine. It will pick up the data from your disk. So configuration of backup when the machine is stopped, it's not possible. But taking the backup, capturing the backup if machine is off, it is possible. Is it clear?
Okay.
Now, next question. can I configure the DR, or can I configure the synchronization when the machine is turned off?
No.
Yes, of course you cannot. Let's say that it is configured properly. Okay, this is got configured. Can someone tell me why it got deployed successfully even the machine is off? Because this machine already had the agent. Okay, now coming back to this one, where is it? Yeah, disaster recovery. If I want to start the disaster recovery and machine is off, will I be able to do that? So you can replicate your virtual machine to another Azure region for business continuity and disaster recovery needs. This is the definition you can say when someone asks you about DR or Azure site recovery. This is a good definition. So I have it in my OneNote also, but this is also good. Yes, guys, can I configure the disaster recovery when my machines are turned off, or in this case, one machine which is turned off? Can I do? Can I configure this one site recovery? Of course not. It
No.
clearly says here, right? The state is power deallocated or off. So it's not going to help us. So first, let's turn on the machine. And once I configure and then turn off the machine, what do you think, or what will happen with the synchronization? Will it work?
No, it won't.
It won't, because what is synchronization? It's a continuous replication. तो अगर उस machine पे कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा, so that doesn't make any sense. वो होगा ही नहीं उसके बाद. Okay, so whenever your machine is on, जब तक है तब तक ही आपका synchronization चल रहा है. Okay, disaster recovery. Machine is on, it still gives this error. Let's refresh it. Okay, it is in starting mode. See, status is starting. And what does it say? Okay, it has appeared now. तो complete start होने के बाद ही आएगा वो. Now, which is my source region? Source region का मतलब क्या हुआ? What do you understand by source region, guys?
जहाँ पे मशीन है.
Right. So my actual machine is in central India. And now I want to configure a disaster recovery. So जो भी nearest होगा मेरे पास, I will go for that. But you can go for any region. Can you see? I can go for East US, Australia, wherever I want. There is no compulsion in this one. जैसे आपकी storage account में compulsion था, यहाँ पर कोई compulsion नहीं है. But always a sensible thing, and which you will see in your live environment. जो भी नियर बाय होगा ना, उसी में ये होगा. अगर मैं एशिया में हूँ तो एशिया के, इंडिया में मल्टीपल है तो इंडिया में ही. So if it is one is in central India, I will go ahead and select the West India. Next one. Here, there are 2 points. Is it clear, guys, to everyone? Now this is my target region. Source region is central India, where my machines are there, and I'm syncing everything to West India. Okay. Disaster recovery between availability zone. Okay. If your what do you say? If my machine was in any of the region where I had availability zone, so instead of region, I can do this replication between zones also, if I had that option. But here my region maybe doesn't have a availability zone feature. That is the reason it is not allowing me to do it. और इसीलिए वो वेस्ट इंडिया में भी नहीं बता रहा. Let me see nearest कौन सा है, और साउथ इंडिया still not. I don't want to go to US, so I'll see maybe Dubai or some Asia. Dubai का भी नहीं accept करेगा maybe. Let's see. Okay, so this looks good to me. Fine. Itana distance I can bear. Okay. So what am I doing here? From my central India, which is my source region, I am replicating all my machines data to my East Asia region. Okay. This is how I can do it. I can click on start simply, or let's have a look at the options which we see. So click here. Now subscription. Can I go ahead and do the replication in different subscription? Yes, you can. Okay, so my existing machine is in UT-Kloud. I can go ahead and do that in a different subscription. Some companies you will see they will have 3 subscription: test subscription, prod subscription, and dev subscription. So if you are moving some machine from prod to dev or dev to prod, उसमें भी इस तरह से आप ये कर सकते हो. But yes, you can change the subscription. It can go inter subscription also. Okay, VM resource group. What does it mean? Anyone knows what does it mean, guys? Okay, it means that, okay, look at this one. Where is it being created? Can anyone tell me where is it being created, by the way? Looking at the screen, you will get the answer. Where is it being created? In which region? Is it my target region or
India.
source region?
So,
This is source region. Yeah. Okay. And what does it say when I say VM resource group? Select the resource group under which the replicated VM will be created when VM is failed over. I'll explain it to you when we do it. Okay. तो ये ASR के लिए एक टेम्परेरी आपका जो है ना एक रिसोर्स ग्रुप बनता है Azure site recovery के लिए, which needs to be in the same region. So here we have selected. एक और virtual network भी बनता है temporary. Okay, that's where we have selected. Availability set, availability zone, all of you know what is it. I don't have to explain it again, right? So I'm gonna go ahead with the single instance. Proximity group, let it be. We are not dealing with this now. We'll just leave it. If it gives an option to none, if it is not, let it be. Capacity reservation group. Let's leave this one also. Reserve the compute capacity. No, I don't want that. I'll explain it to you later. First, let's see how it works. Okay, the cache storage account. एक cache storage account बनेगा. Similarly, जैसा हमने देखा था कि restore करते वक्त, see, because what we have been discussing that there is a recovery service vault. एक service vault में आपका data चला जाता है, right? So if you want to recover that from that service vault, तो पहले वो एक temporary storage account में आता है and then वहां से आपकी machine बनना शुरू होती है. Similarly, यहाँ पर एक cache storage account होता है जहां से आपका डेटा पहले मशीन से उस कैश स्टोरेज अकाउंट में सिंक होता है एंड दैट अकाउंट गेट्स सिंक्ड टू अदर रीजन. डायरेक्टली आपका जो है डेटा यहाँ से आपकी मशीन से दूसरे रीजन में नहीं हो रहा है. एक कैशे, आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड द वर्ड कैशे. व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय वर्ड कैशे, गाइस? कैशे और कैश, however you want to pronounce it. What do you have you ever heard this word in maybe
Yes, yes,
browser or maybe
yes, yes.
yes,
yeah, so what is it? Who can explain it?
it's a fast temporary storage.
Yes, in terms of
Temporary. It is saved in a cache.
yes, anything or everything which you save temporarily on your browser also, you will have some cache files which they save temporarily. Okay, so whatever is there for temporary basis, they call it cache. So here also this storage account, it's a temporary storage account. It is just the data which is coming from here. It's not directly syncing here. Okay, in this case it's Asia, forget central. Okay, let me recreate it. It will be easier for you to understand it. So this is my machine. It is in, and here where I'm replicating it. So my machine is in central India. And where are we replicating it? I think it's East Asia. So data is not traveling directly like this. यहाँ से यहाँ travel नहीं कर रहा है. Data is traveling from here to one cache storage account. Okay, and this cache storage account is being replicated here. Data is intact, but just because it is going from 2 or 3 steps doesn't mean that it is compromised or something is losing. But did you understand what is the cache storage account? यहाँ पर आपके मशीन नहीं बन रहेगा. अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, डायरेक्टली यहाँ से यहाँ पर मशीन नहीं दिख रहा है आपके, यहाँ पर आपके डिस्क सेव्ड हो रहे हैं. राइट, हियर यू विल हैव अ मशीन, अप एंड रनिंग मशीन, बट यहाँ पर जो आपका सेकेंडरी रीजन है वहां पर मशीन नहीं है जिसका आप जाके आरडीपी ले लो, राइट? डिस्क है आपके, मशीन्स नहीं बन रहा है डायरेक्टली, तो डिस्क वगैरह आपके यहाँ पर सेव हो रहे हैं। ओके, द सोर्स मैनेज डिस्क, जिस सोर्स पे जो डिस्क है मुझको सारे रेप्लिकेट करने हैं, और डू आई हैव टू डू ओनली ओएस डिस्क? So this is my OS disk, which has to be done by default. Can I leave OS disk? OS disk छोड़ दूंगा मैं तो there is no कुछ है ही नहीं virtual. There is no virtual machine without the OS disk. But a data disk, do I want to replicate that disk also, or do I want to leave that? It's here. You can select. So in this case, I'm leaving it. Replication setting, recovery service vault. This is the recovery service vault we are using. Okay. This is the subscription we are using. And retention policy, will come back to the policy also. First, let's see how it works. Okay. Extension setting, let's hide it for now. So understood the things which we discussed, right? It can be a cross subscription. It can have your availability, multiple features, right? This is a temporary resource group which will be created, temporary VNet will be created, and this temporary storage account which will be created. You can select multiple disk, or you can go ahead with only your OS disk. Here you will select the subscription vault subscription, जहाँ पे हमारा recovery service vault है. You will select that recovery service vault, and resource group अपने आप उसमें select हो जाएगा. Okay, then click on next. Here you can review your policy and everything. One more option was there. Let me see. Okay, in this one guys, my source disk, source disk जो है, जो मेरा अभी मशीन बना हुआ है ना, उसका डिस्क का साइज है प्रीमियम SSD. बट व्हाट एम आई सेइंग कि जहां पर रेप्लिकेट हो रहा है ना यार, वहां पर आई डोंट वांट टू पे फॉर SSD काफी महंगा पड़ेगा. सो आई वांट टू पे ओनली फॉर स्टैंडर्ड हार्ड डिस्क. Maybe not premium SSD, not standard SSD. I just want to pay for standard hard disk. This is going to save my cost. परफॉर्मेंस पे थोड़ा फर्क पड़ेगा व्हेन आई ब्रिंग दिस मशीन अप, थोड़ा फर्क पड़ेगा, बट मे बी वो जब साल 2 साल में एक बार होने वाला इवेंट है. So if something goes wrong, for that I don't want to keep on paying premium SSD. So if someone asks you a question that can you change the disk type in your ASR, so can you? Yes, you can. Even if your source disk is SSD, you can select HDD or any whatever you want. Is it clear guys? Yes, no, maybe. Are you guys getting it?
Yes.
Okay, as of now I'm just gonna keep it premium SSD because sync jaldi ho jayega, otherwise it's gonna take time. So here it is, and I start the replication. It is creating the target resources. Let's go ahead and check. So if I go here and check and guys, replication whenever you practice, make sure you delete it immediately. बहुत ज़्यादा bandwidth जो है आपका ये होता है, उसमें यूज होता है. It won't come this easily. First we'll have to check site recovery में कितने tasks चल रहा है. Let's see if that is available here. Still shows 0 because it is still creating the target resources. We'll have to wait for some time guys. Can you see? See, it has started creating this. My resource group which I had, where I have this machine, the name of that resource group is UT-Kloud India. Yeah, this is the one. And this is being created as UT-Kloud India -ASR, Azure Site Recovery. यहाँ पर इसका पूरा जो है एक replication आपका बनता रहेगा. Here you will see everything same as the virtual network over there, what I have, everything, but the name would have a suffix -ASR, Azure Site Recovery. इस तरह से पूरा बनेगा and then replicate होता रहेगा, and that replication is not sitting in the same region. It is just being created here. Later on, it will be synced here to East Asia. So this is being created, guys. Meanwhile, do you have any questions, guys? This may take some time. We'll have to wait for that. Meanwhile, do you have any questions? I still see 0. I'll have to check which one is being used. I don't think so this is being used because this one is in East US. We'll go back to machine and check which one we used. Did we use Vault 932 or temp one we used? We'll see that. I think I selected temp, but let's see. Once we are there on that machine, we'll check.
Yes, selected them.
Yes, we selected temp, so it has to be temp. But still, we'll check that once. So this is how it is being created, guys. VNet and everything will be replicated. Everything will be replicated. So let's see if any task here. Oh, I think we use temp. So I'll go ahead and check temp. Still shows 0. We'll have to refill. Yeah, here it is. Can you see? One task is in progress. Now, if I click on this, it should show. So it is create a site. It is creating a site in East India. The server the site which I selected. Okay, this is gonna take some time. Once it is ready, I'll show it to you what all options are there. Meanwhile, if you guys do not have any questions, I'll start with the migration theory. While that is happening, I will explain the theory part to you. When that is not going to finish today also, it will take more time. कल भी हम theory ही करेंगे migration की, and next week we'll do the practical, and that should be done for us. So do you have any questions, guys? On backup, on ASR, whatever we have done till now, उस पे कुछ है question? Okay, so let's start with the migration. What is migration? I have already given you a fair idea, right? Moving a machine from one place to another place in terms of cloud, and here I'm talking about in normal term, migration is moving anything. Here we are talking about either virtual machine or data. We will be focusing on mostly on virtual machines, right? The data migration is also there. I'll show you the tool and everything once, but we are not going to do the practical for data migration. SQL migration वगैरह का हम नहीं करेंगे. It takes a lot of time and it's not in our scope. So we will do the actual migration. What we are going to do is a virtual machine migration. Right? I'll move one machine from on-prem, or I have a machine in AWS, so I'll move that from AWS to Azure, or from my on-prem to Azure. Maybe my laptop, I'll move it from my laptop to, I'll just directly have this machine on my Azure. Okay, so that is what we're trying to, will try to do when it comes to practical. Before that, theory part. Under theory part, ये जो पहले के questions दिख रहे हैं ना आपको, 1 2 3 4 questions, these are the questions जो एक HR भी पूछ लेता है आपसे, जहां पर अगर migration का काम है ना, they will have all these questions handy with them, and even an HR person can ask you these questions, that how many cloud migrations and what period of time were executed, that or how many migrations have you done. So here I've just simply written a basic calculation that 15 plus migration, this was over the period of 4+ year. So एक 5 साल में 15 हो जाते हैं, आप लोग समझ लो. Now you calculate जितने भी साल का आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस बता रहे हो उसके बेस पे आप कैलकुलेट करके बोल देना whatever migration you guys have done. Okay, how many assessment over the period of time you have done, right? Now what is assessment, I will explain it to you. असेसमेंट क्या होता है ना, माइग्रेशन से पहले पूरा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को असेस करना, प्रॉपरली एक असेस करना. I'll show it to you when we do the migration, we'll do that. So normally एक ही टीम करती है, असेसमेंट करते हैं, देन उसी का माइग्रेशन करते हैं based on the assessment. Or sometimes it happens that you will do the assessment and someone else will come and do the migration, or someone else has done the assessment, you have the report with you and based on that report you do the migration. तो ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि अगर मैंने 15 माइग्रेशन किए तो 15 ही असेसमेंट किए होंगे. That is never the case, right? So maybe you could have done 20 assessment in 15 migration, or 15 migration 12 assessment. जितना भी हो, you guys decide and keep it for yourself. Now this is approximately 20 plus assessment. I'm saying this is based on 5 years of experience. I've written it 4, but let's consider it 5. So now based on your experience, you calculated कितना आपको बताना है. Okay, what do we check in assessment? Cloud readiness. That the machine which we are trying to bring to cloud, or the application which we are trying to bring to cloud, is it cloud ready? How to do that वो सब हम देखेंगे migration में. Okay, cloud workload assessment. कि यार मेरी जो existing machine है उसका size क्या है, वैसा कोई nearby size cloud में available है या नहीं है. That you do in your cloud workload assessment. App and server licensing model. Licensing model कैसा है, जो आप current application use कर रहे हो, if you move it to cloud, is it going to be useful, are they supporting over there, yes or no, वो सारी चीजें आप इसमें करते हो. Okay, परफॉर्मेंस SLA. यहाँ पर आपको कितना SLA मिल रहा है, जब आपकी मशीन्स यहाँ पर है तो महीने में कितनी बार डाउन होती है, कितने आवर्स कम होता है. when you are moving to Azure, Azure क्या प्रॉमिस कर रहा है आपको, कितना SLA देने के लिए तैयार है, वो वाला असेसमेंट आप यहाँ पर करते हो, राइट. कंप्लायंस रिक्वायरमेंट्स इफ एनी, बहुत बड़ा इशू है और बहुत बड़ा हर्डल भी है मूवमेंट और माइग्रेशन से पहले. Let's say that you are working for a client which is in Saudi Arabia and there is no region in Saudi Arabia for Azure. Okay, and now if it is there, I'm not sure. You always go ahead and check the latest report. Okay, or then let's say if it is not there in UAE, and now you're planning, you have sold them your plan. आपके आर्किटेक्चर टीम ने सेल कर दिया कि ठीक है, एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, आपका हम सर्वर मूव कर देंगे, ऐसा होगा वैसा होगा, Azure पे यू विल सेव दिस अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, इस तरह का पैसा बचेगा, एवरीथिंग इज फाइन. नाउ दे आर प्लानिंग टू मूव एंड नाउ यू टेल देम मैंने तो अपना असेसमेंट बेस्ड ऑन ईस्ट यूएस किया था, एंड नाउ क्लाइंट टेल्स यू दैट आई एम अ बैंकिंग पार्टनर एंड माय रिजर्व बैंक, जो भी वहां का रिजर्व बैंक की तरह अथॉरिटी होगी, इट डजंट अलाउ मी, it doesn't allow me to keep my data or keep my servers outside Dubai. तो आपका पूरा का पूरा migration plan is failed over there. That is the reason compliance assessment is very critical. By the way, ये सारे टास्क जो है आपके आर्किटेक्चर टीम करती है, but this is a good to know information and you should say this in your interview. Whenever it comes to interview and migration topic, you have to say all these things. इसमें से आपका पार्ट कितना है, will come to that. But you should know all these things कि migration से पहले हो क्या रहा है, right? How did they decide what to assess and when to migrate? You can leave this, ये architecture team का काम है, you can leave it completely. How did they decide what is rehost, re-architect, re-platform? ये I'll explain it to you when we check those 6 R's. Rehost, re-architect, re-platform, repair, retain. ये जो है, we'll see those 6 R's. उसके बाद I will explain it to you, right? What is it then? Yeah, इतने ही क्वेश्चंस जो है इनिशियल स्टेज पे HR people will ask you. ठीक है, टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस तभी आते नहीं है, अभी फिलहाल आए नहीं है. What is Azure migration? Azure migration provides a centralized hub to access migrate to Azure on-premises servers. जितने भी आपके on-prem के सर्वर्स है ना, उसको आप एक centralized hub से पूरा कंट्रोल करके, वो be it 1000 servers, 2000 servers, you can get all of them to Azure portal. Okay, is it clear? Are you guys getting it?
Can you explain the last part again?
Which one?
One of the definition of migration again. Can you just repeat it?
No, what did you not understand out of it? Just
Like what resources, like the same definition, like kind of the
No,
internet
I
got
got your
dropped.
question. I'm trying to understand what did you not understand out of this. I got
Actually,
your
I
question.
missed on the part due to the weak internet connection.
Okay. So I was saying, Azure migration provides you a centralized hub. Centralized hub as in एक टूल वगैरह समझ लो आप, Azure Migrate टूल, जहां पे बैठे हुए आप सारे आपके सर्वर्स को जो है, सर्वर्स, एप्लीकेशन, डेटा, इन सबको आप जो है मूव कर सकते हो ऑन प्रेमाइसिस से Azure पे. Clear?
Okay, yes, yes.
Now migration, it is not only when it is coming from on-prem. आप अपने AWS के कुछ मशीन Azure पे लाना चाहते हो, that is migration. If you want to move some machines from GCP to Azure, that is migration. Physical machines, जो literally physical machines है Dell और HP के, उनको आपको move करना है Azure पे, that is migration. Virtual machines, VMware से आपको move करना है, that is migration. Hyper-V से आपको machines move करना है, that is also migration. If you want to move one machine from Azure infrastructure किसी और के Azure infrastructure से आपके infrastructure में, वो भी एक migration हुआ. These all are a set of migrations. These all are types of migration. But it is very evident and it is very you know, implied in an interviewer's question when he is asking that have you done a migration. So he or she is definitely asking about a migration from on-prem to Azure cloud, because Azure के Azure में machine को move करना, it is technically it will be called migration, but वो मुश्किल से 2 click का काम है. So interviewer आपसे वो नहीं पूछ रहा है. ठीक है. So whenever they say Azure migration, all these tasks which I discussed now, ये सब migration ही है. But you don't have to ask the interviewer कि कौन सा migration की बात कर रहे हो आप. Moving machine from Azure to Azure, that is also migration. You don't have to do that. It is implied. It is well known thing. It is an established thing that in an interview, if someone is asking about migration, so it is a migration from on-prem to Azure. On-prem में कुछ भी हो सकता है, physical server, Hyper-V या vCenter, कुछ भी हो सकता है. But from on-prem to Azure. Is it clear, guys? Migration का question अगर आता है तो.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and all these assessment which I'm talking about, इसमें अभी तक कोई technical assessment नहीं आया. ठीक है, ये सारे assessment किस तरह से होते हैं? आपकी एक टीम होती है, आर्किटेक्चर टीम होती है, उसमें फाइनेंस वाले होते हैं, यहाँ पर here it is written. Okay, pre-migration we review cost, services, service provider, etc. ये जो असेसमेंट की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, इसमें हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि ऑन प्रेम से कहाँ जाना है, AWS पे जाना है, Azure पे जाना है, GCP पे जाना है, बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट, प्राइसिंग. तो ये अपने आप में एक बहुत लंबा चौड़ा प्रोजेक्ट होता है. 6-8 महीने का यही प्रोजेक्ट होता है कि आप करंट डेटा सेंटर पे कितना स्पेंड कर रहे हो, कितने $million. Azure पे जाते हो तो कितना बचाओगे, AWS पे जाओगे तो व्हाट विल यू गेट. Based on your compliance issues, do you have Azure region over there, can you move your data out of it, if not possible, कितने डेटा पे compliance है, उतना डेटा हम आपके region में रखेंगे और remaining डेटा को हम कहीं पर और move करेंगे if you do not have the other features. I wanted to move from on-prem to cloud because I saw load balancer, or only because I saw uh, Azure availability zone. I like that feature, I want to move that. But at the time of assessment you will come to know कि आप का compliance की वजह से you cannot put your data out of India because you are a Paytm, you are banking sector, whatever you are, so you cannot put your data out of India, and in India none of the regions has availability zone. I mean, that is not the case, I'm just explaining it to you that this could happen. तो ये सारा assessment जो है ये technical assessment नहीं है फिलहाल. ठीक है, कोई tool वगैरह नहीं use हो रहा है इसमें. So this is the assessment which your architecture team will do it. और जो technical assessment है tool से, that I will show it to you when we do the migration. But before you go to the technical part, you will have to explain all this also. ये सब भी आपको करना है. You'll have to mention कि ये सब आप नहीं करते हो, but you should know कि एक migration के पीछे इतना सब जो है पूरा concept वगैरह होता है. ठीक है. We as in our architecture team, they review for cost, services, service provider, assessment, and cloud center of excellence team will be there. They take care of these things. So you can say कि ये सब होता है. उसके बाद अगर migration का आता है, then we get the work. ठीक है. इसमें एक लैंडिंग जोन का भी कॉन्सेप्ट है, बट इसको हम स्क्रैच से करने वाले हैं, सो डोंट वरी. इसको हम फिर से करेंगे यहाँ से. आई वाज जस्ट ब्रिंगिंग दिस टॉपिक सो वी कैन सी कि जब तक हम लोगों का रेप्लिकेशन सेटअप हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है. लेट्स सी. And if it is not done, guys, what will I do? Tomorrow, before we start the class, 1 घंटे पहले मैं replication शुरू करके रख दूंगा. And once it is there, class शुरू होती है तो I'll show it to you. Okay, here it is. Can you see? ये है आपका Azure Site Recovery. ये है मेरा primary region. primary regions. Let's see, this is very good design. I mean, here I could not explain it well maybe, but this is it. This is my virtual machine. This is a cache storage account. पहले यहाँ से यहाँ पर copy हो रहा है और then यहाँ से यहाँ पर जा रहा है. Is it clear, guys, to everyone? This is for Azure virtual machine. If it was VMware, कुछ और होगा, method और Hyper-V के लिए अलग होगा. But we are sticking to Azure virtual machines as of now. Yes, guys. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now let's say and check the replicated item if we have any. Here, this is the replicated item. Replication health. It shows healthy. It does not mean कि अभी आप replication के लिए ready हो. It just shows it is healthy. मतलब आप कर सकते हो. Status क्या है synchronization का? ये protected बताएगा ना, तब you will be assured कि हाँ मेरा data अब जो है पूरी तरह से sync होना शुरू हुआ. अभी it is just 0% synchronized. Now this is going to take some time, and you will have after some time you will see here as protected. Protected होने के बाद you will have those options जहां पर आप test failover कर सकते हो, आप clean up कर सकते हो टेस्ट फेलोवर का, आप रिकवरी पॉइंट चेंज कर सकते हो, कमिट कर सकते हो, रीप्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो, रीसिंक्रोनाइज कर सकते हो और एक्चुअल फेलोवर कर सकते हो और डिसेबल रेप्लिकेशन अभी भी कर सकते हैं, तब भी कर सकते हैं. ऑल दीज ऑप्शंस विल सी टुमारो एंड पोस्ट दिस विल सी माइग्रेशन theory part in detail. So tomorrow if possible we'll finish it in 2 session only. एक सेशन में हम इसको करेंगे डिटेल में, रेप्लिकेशन वगैरह इन डिटेल. Second session में we'll do the migration completely theory part. I will not start the practical, don't worry. But जितने भी questions हैं आपके, do ask it tomorrow. If ज़्यादा questions हम third session भी कर लेंगे. I have nowhere to go. Right? Third session भी हम कर लेंगे. What I meant by 2 sessions is that I don't want to start practical. So जितने भी questions हैं, because mostly questions आपके theory part में ही आने वाले हैं more than practical. Okay, तो theory part जितना भी होगा migration का, we will be doing that tomorrow itself. Tomorrow we'll start with this one, replication को देखते हैं कि क्या क्या options है इसमें, test failover कैसे होता है, commit का मतलब क्या होता है, reprotect का मतलब क्या होता है, ये सब क्या है. We'll see that everything. Today I'm gonna delete this और कल classes शुरू होने से पहले मैं इसको, otherwise कल तक मेरा balance वैसे ही खत्म हो जाएगा. I have 7,000 rupees pending, वो वैसे ही खत्म हो जाएगा. Replication takes a lot of money. It's one of the costliest resource. So I'm gonna stop this and tomorrow I will start the same thing again. Before we start our class, 1 घंटे पहले करके रख दूंगा. So we'll have the protected status and then we'll go ahead and check बाकी सारे options. ठीक है guys, see you tomorrow then. No homework for today.
Okay, sir.
Make sure you go through the concepts and everything, check thoroughly.